Hi everyone, and thank you for purchasing the tabbed Content Shopify section by qwiqode. In this video, I'll be showing you how to actually use it. So if you haven't installed it yet, please refer to the separate video included in the package, and you also have access to a PDF for you to refer to. So to get started, head over to your theme editor, navigate to the page you want to add the section to. Over on the left side, click Add Section, and then you can just search for the section installed, qwiqode tabbed content. Once it's loaded, you get a default preview of what the section will look like. You can click through it, and you can play around with what it would display. Over on the left, for each tab that you add, you have a block, what's called a block, where on each one that you can click, you have content on the right side that you can change. So let's say this is on a product page. And here we'd like to add in a how to use section, like that. And then inside here, we would add in the content that we want to display, just like that. You also have an option to select a page for it to display content of a page that you create within the Shopify admin. That way you have more ability to change or to edit the text and use different styling like bold, italic, list items, insert an image in there, etc. We'll do that on the next tab. So if we go to the next tab here, and here we would say ingredients, let's say. Could select a page. Let's just add in the about us. So as you can see, all the text from that page appears within there. Clicking through, it changes. And so on, you can go and change these additional ones, and you can add basically as many as you want. Let's just get rid of a lot of these so that doesn't interfere. I wouldn't recommend more than 4 or 5. It really does depend on the screen width and everything, but again, you can add in more. So after we've selected that, and of course you can change the order of them as well if you'd like, we'd go over, clicking on the main section here. Over on the right, we have a bunch of different styling options and settings that we can add. To start, we have the section title. So we can change that like so. We can change the HTML element for SEO purposes. Basically, using an H1 it's only recommended to use once on the page, and it's usually the main title of the page. H2 and down to H6, those basically it's hierarchy and telling Google or other search engines what the importance of that line is. So usually additional sections they would use H2. The additional benefit of being able to change that is that it basically inherits the styling from your theme. So if you have a specific styling for H2s that you'd like to continue using, all you have to do is select the H2 or the H3 and so on. Moving on down, we can select the section width. Section width usually, which is, if it's on regular, controls the maximum width of the section. And usually it's like each site, depending on screen width, has a maximum width for content. But in any case, you can play with that if you'd like it to be smaller or you'd like it to be bigger, or if you'd like it to be completely full width from edge to edge of the browser, you can select that. In a second, I'll explain why I didn't get to the edge. We can select a background color for it. As you can see now, the section itself is going all the way to the edge, but the content itself isn't, and that's because we have here margins and padding. that we can adjust. Margins is spacing around the element, like outside of it. So top margin would be the space from here to here, so we can increase that, and that pushes the section down. And bottom margin, obviously, is the section below. We don't have anything here. Well, the footer, we can do bottom margin, and it pushes it down. And then padding is the area within the section. So if we want more space over here, we can add more padding that way, and we can add more padding at the very bottom. And then we also included horizontal padding, which is this padding here. So if right now default is at 20, we put it down to 0, we can set it to be like that. Let's give it a little bit more space. And again, if we go back to regular, we can have that, and then we can increase the padding within that if we'd like. Let's make this a little bit lighter of the color so we can see a little bit more. There you go. We have the same margin and paddings for mobile as well. So if you go to the mobile view, we can add in more horizontal padding here, as you can see, more bottom padding, more top padding, etc. Moving on down, we have section title styling. So we have this section. We can change its color. We can align it to the left or to the right or center. We can change the font. So you just have to click custom font, and then here you can change with what Shopify provides. Or if you know the CSS rule to assign a manually installed custom font, you can paste it right in there. And you can also set the font weight. So if you'd like it to be bold, or even depending on what fonts you've installed, you can select any of these, but these are all the options for the different font weights. Next, we have top and bottom margins for the title itself. So we can add some more margins to add some more space between the two. We can change the font size. The line height isn't as relevant because usually we don't have such long titles. So it's only relevant if the title itself is very long, and letter spacing, with more spacing between the letters. Same settings go for mobile version. So switching to mobile, and you can select that to be specific to mobile devices. Next, we have tab styling. So tab styling, we have a few different options. We have tabs with borders. So we have this, and we have all the borders around. You can also select to have no borders at all for the tabs themselves. Sometimes this works well if we decide to remove the background. Where is it? There we go. And let's say remove the background color of the tab itself. So we actually have no background here, only upon the hover, which we can set right over here. And let's say even make it red for the active use and for the hover, or whatever color we'd like so. You can also change the color of the tab itself, like that. And also the color of the active. So for instance, we want the color here to change, let's say, to white when it's on hover. I mean, if this isn't a great example, it's hard to see, but we can make it, let's say, even this blue. And then they change accordingly. Another option we have is to set the type of active state to look. If you don't like the look, or if you want a different look than these regular tabs, we can just do the bottom border. So as you can see, there's a bottom border right over there. And you can change the color of the border down below. Like that. Tab alignment, we can either have all of the items stretched to the very edge, and this is actually more visible when you have a color, or we select auto and it just takes the width of each text block. And you can also add some more padding in between to make it a little bit wider, but that way they don't stretch all the way to the end, and it just shows in this way. And we can also add some gaps between them as well, like that. So even if we have full width, we can also add some gaps in between, however you'd like it to look. Now, if we go to mobile version, we can also add gaps here. And mobile version, if you notice, since we don't have room to to align them side by side, we have the tabs stack one above the other, and this is the way the content appears. We can also add some more gaps in between if you'd like, and so on. You can add some more vertical padding as well, and so on. We can adjust the text alignment of the tabs, left, right, and center. We can set the font to a different font if we'd like. So we'll just keep that. And same settings I discussed before, font weight, font size, line height, and letter spacing. And the same thing goes for mobile. Now we get to the tab content, which is this area down here below. So here we can also set a background color. We can change the border color if we'd like. We can create top margin, which gives some more spacing in between if we'd like that type of look. And let's say if we get rid of the border, we can have it look like that. And add border radius to the item, to the block itself. You can make the border thicker, of course, if you have a color. So you can set that up as you like. As well as padding, top and bottom, and horizontal. Like that. Same settings for the mobile device. And we have a little bit more styling for the tab content itself. Currently it's left aligned, but you can, of course, make it center, make it right aligned. You can change the color of the text itself, change its font weight, all the regular typography settings. This is to set the link color. So let's say if we go to, I believe, this one, do we have a link in here? We do not. So if I go into here and let's say, just take this word and we create a link, and let's just call it, this is a link. We can link it to a page, insert. So you see this is the link that appears there. So we can style this link differently as well. So we can make that link, let's say a black link, and we can add an underline to it if we'd like, and so on. Let's take a look at the mobile version again. So here you can see they're touching. So if we want to go back up and move the section, there's a lot of sections, so sometimes it's difficult to find it. Text content wrapper, there we go. And mobile. So we can give it some more space like that. So that's it. Thank you again. And we hope that this section helps you achieve your website goals. If you have any questions or any difficulties, please don't hesitate to contact us from the support page on the website. Thank you again.